Welcome, 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 everybody. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Appreciate everybody for tapping in with your boy. Legends Talk, man. We've been going up, and I appreciate everybody out there showing that love, that support. From for a real dude that's been putting in that work, man. So I truly appreciate everybody out there. Instagram, what I'm saying? YouTube, all that, man. Tonight we got a goodie for y'all, man. What I'm saying? If you from New York City or beyond, you know who Erick Barkley is. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, and we just want to welcome everybody, man, to Legends Talk, where we delve into the extraordinary journeys of basketball icons. Today we shine the spotlight on NYC basketball legend Erick Barkley, whose path from Farragut Houses in Brooklyn to the NBA is a tale of grit, passion, and unwavering determination. Join us as we unravel the story behind the legend and explore the lasting legacy of Erick Barkley on the basketball world. Again, man, I'd like to appreciate everybody for tapping in with your boy. Make sure you share the content. Make sure you go, set those notification bells. Do what you got to do, man. But we here and we going up. So take this ride with us. Pause. No diddy. Yo,
Yo, what's up, my brother? Legends talk. What's the
EB,
deal?
EB.
What's the deal, my brother?
It can't be Legends Talk without you on here.
Man, I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you so much, man.
Nah, I appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? Very seldom are you even on social media like that. So I had to do a little digging, you know what I'm saying, for this
Yeah,
one, man.
I get in and out on social media sometimes. I come
Right,
from the
right.
era where social media was you had to make the real media before social
Fact.
media. So it's kind of,
Fact.
you know,
All the cameras and stuff. We ain't like taking pictures and all of that. You start
nah,
taking
nah, nah.
pictures.
You had to have a name to get notarized back then. Nowadays you
Right,
could put your own stuff up on social media, which is I'm saying it's legit. You control your own destiny now, but it was a little bit you had to work a little harder.
right. Everybody wasn't getting up on that daily news. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, but
Absolutely.
but like I said, man, Legends Talk with Erick Barkley, man. I appreciate you. We gonna get right into it, man.
Yes,
Farragut
sir.
Houses, man. Brooklyn, New York. When did you first pick up a basketball, man? Who gave you that kind of like that early motivation to start hooping?
Ooh, man, oh man, you took it back
Yeah,
in my
we
stomping grounds. Oh,
yeah,
a lot of legends come from my old hood. Farragut housing projects. A lot of legends. Before me, it was a guy named Joe Francis. He was the dean at Severian High School. Out here in New York. But it was a guy named Joe Francis that started me out at the Navy Yard Boys and Girls Club in downtown Brooklyn. It's right between Fort Greene and Farragut.
mm,
Housing project. People in New York, you know what it is. If you know, you know.
right. Now we spoke. I mean, we mentioned the Farragut houses, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not an easy place to grow up, man.
No, hell no,
And and you were
hell no.
you had a large family. You had a very large family. I think you were one of I guess the
I'm the
baby
young, I'm,
boy,
I'm the youngest. Yeah, youngest of nine, man.
youngest of nine.
Youngest of nine. Yes, indeed,
So
indeed, bro.
tell me about growing up in the Farragut houses, the youngest of nine. How did that growing up and being raised where you were raised at, how did that shape your approach to the game of basketball?
My older brothers. They love the game, so they enjoy playing it. And I was a baby. They used to always have me tag along with them. So, that's where I first developed the game the game of basketball through them. My oldest brother Darren Porter, he kind of started it out, and then my other brother Derek Porter, another guy, just they continued it on. I continued it on, further than what they took it.
Right, right, right. Yeah, one, every generation, you got to take it a step further,
Indeed, indeed.
like the Marburys a little bit.
Ooh, then now they was deep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
They
was
was
deep.
deep. They
They
was
was
deep.
deep. Yes, 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 sir. Yes, sir. They was deep.
Now you know that man. Anybody that's nice, growing up, man. You had to describe a person by their whole name, right? Like
Right.
when did the name Erick Barkley start to ring bells in the city, man?
Ooh, 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 ooh. That's a good question. I say I say like when I started out playing with Artie, we was called the franchise Tigers. We was kicking Riverside ass, Gaucho's ass. We was kicking everybody ass, bro. Excuse my language, but we was just
Nah,
kicking
feel
everybody
free, feel free, man.
until God bless Mr. Lorch. He got smart and he formed something with Artie called Riverside BQ Express.
BQE Express. I
That's
remember
where
that.
that's where that whole tandem came from us beating everybody in the city. The Riversides, and they was like, who these kids? From Queens and Brooklyn. Beating everybody. Nobody knew who we were. And then after that we got with Riverside. We joined forces with them, and we took off.
Now you mentioned Riverside, man. Now it's no secret that you were part of that team, that legendary team that
Oh, I read the show. Oh
yeah,
yeah, I read the show.
yeah,
Absolutely. That was my team. They
that
all know.
yeah,
They follow they follow my beat. You know what I mean?
everybody say, you guys are probably the best AAU team, or one of the best, if not the best
Ooh,
AAU team in history. Tell me about that
bro,
team and what kind of
when I
camaraderie did you guys have?
bro bro, when I mean talent on one team, I'm like, man, the practices used to be better than our game. You know what
Mm,
I mean? Like we had guys, everybody was cool with each other. Nobody had egos. That's what made everything beautiful. You know what I mean? And I feel that was my job to keep everybody on one page. You know what I mean?
right.
We all knew who the man was, Elton. That's established off top. You know what I mean? We all knew who the man was Elton. So we gonna go through him, and then everybody else we gonna find our way through that. And then we had guys like Ricardo Gregg coming off the bench to
Mm,
where he could have been a starter anywhere. You know what I mean? Like we had guys like Akey Thomas coming off the bench, Javad Cheatham. Like, oh man, we was loaded, bro. We was loaded.
yeah, that team alone, man. You know what I'm saying? What, Ant Glove, Ron
And Glove,
Artest. Who else is on
uh,
that team?
Lamar played with us for a little stench.
Right,
Um,
right. Now,
uh, uh,
you mentioned the
Shay,
Lamar. Go ahead.
uh-huh.
What you said? Who you said?
Shay Cotton came and played with us for a little stench as well. He tried, but he couldn't get no time. But what you was about to say about Lamar, we get back into we get back into Shay Cotton.
Nah, yeah, we gonna get back into that. But you know what I'm saying? Now I had to stop you. I had to stop you real quick because the whole Lamar Odom, man. You don't know how many debates and how many, you know what I'm saying, like arguments I had with people telling me, yo, Lamar ain't played with them. He played with us. He played
He
over here.
did. He
He played with us.
lo- be-
They was playing.
before
They tried to
Lamar
play.
before Lamar joined the Panthers, he played with us with Riverside. You know what I mean? Or like him and Ron, him and Ron, they were they were cool, but we had so much we were so much like competing against each other to where they came out with the list of ranking of players back then. Tom Kashowski had a list, God bless him as well. He came out with a list with the rankings of players. And on that list, it was a so-so with Ron and Lamar. And we were sophomores at the time. We was with the church. We were sophomores at the time. And Like they used to get into fist fights. You know what I mean? Like who was better? Who was better? And it like when Lamar left, it was a good move for both parties. You know?
Right, right. Now, yeah, that's crazy. That competitive nature just leads
Right.
you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a dog
But
eat dog
that
world.
was that was the breed of New York City. They all had all the players, like everybody. We was all so like we was so much competing against each other. We really got to know each other. We barely really got to know each other. That's how far competitors we were. You know what I mean?
Right,
Far I'm talking about like other teammates, like other people.
right, right. So now, like, in terms of like the pro aspirations, right? Like, when did that start happening for you? Was this
Mhm.
early on, 10th grade, messing with these
Not
guys?
really.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or did that come later?
Well, I was always around pros. You know what I mean? Like Stephon Marbury. I grew up since 9 years old playing against Stephon Marbury and called a league called CYO. You know what I mean? He was with the Most Precious Flames, and I was with the St. Anne's Cobras. This goes back to the guy I was telling you who started me out with basketball, Joe Francis. You know what I mean? He had a league down here in our neighborhood. Which like I said, a lot of legends come from down here. Booger Smith, Sunshine, Jermaine Sunshine Smith that went to UNLV. A lot of guys, Kevin Simmons, a lot of guys came through these neck of the woods. But you know, that was like woo,
That was like the breeding
that,
ground, like, yeah, battlegrounds almost.
absolutely. That was definitely the battleground, and that's where I kind of picked up everything at from being around pros early. You know what I mean? And then it just rub off. Steph habits rub off on you. You know what I mean? And like Steph used to come down to the boys club to Farragut and play with us on Saturdays. You know what I mean? When he was like 11, 10 years old. You know what I mean? So me and Steph has history. And then like
Right,
as we
right.
got older, he used to invite me, out to Atlanta to come work out with him. You know what I mean? And then I start I start seeing the life and like hell yeah, I want this shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, so when he used to invite you to Atlanta to work out, that's when it kind of the light bulb kind of went off, or was y'all
Absolutely,
right,
absolutely, because like I said, he had me around other pros. Guys like Chris Whitney, other point guards that was in the NBA, and I'm working out against these guys at Peachtree, holding my own. And
right,
like Steph was like, God damn, I'm shocked. He was like, oh shit, maybe you on to something.
right,
He's like, yo,
right?
just keep. He's like, just keep at it, and you're gonna be all right.
I'm like, yo, that's a pro right there. I'm going pro then.
You got a pro telling you this, you know what I mean? And it was other pros in the building that was giving me my props too. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, Shorty, all right, you brought with him.
Now,
John Wallace was down there as well.
oh,
He
tough.
was giving me my props. Dale David, there was a couple of guys in that gym, at Peace Street. We was down at Peace back in the days, you know what I mean? They had some good runs back in the days.
Was that when Steph was at Georgia Tech by now, or was that earlier?
He just came out of Georgia Tech.
Okay, okay. Now that's tough. Now we're gonna just rewind just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just because we got to touch on all aspects of your journey. But
Absolutely.
you ended up going to CTK, man, Christ the King. I know that
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying, it's a touch and go type of situation for you with that school. You know what I'm saying? We get into that, but you know what I'm saying. But you wound up teaming up with some real heavyweights, man. You know what I'm saying? Lamar,
Ooh, man.
Speedy,
Ooh,
Paxton,
ooh.
Ira Miller.
Absolutely.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Kamal McQueen.
Some killers out there, man. So
Yeah,
what were those
Raheem
practices?
Johnson.
Man,
Ooh, we were stacked, bro.
what were those practices like, man? Like where everybody pushing each other to be great.
Again, man, like I said, like my competitive nature, I'm pushing everybody to be, you know what I mean? Because in practice, I'm going hard, man. You know what I mean? I don't got no time to waste. We didn't really have trainers to get better back then.
Right,
So the way we got better was playing against each other and, going up and down. That was our experience in learning the game. You know what I mean? So we treated practices like games.
right, right. Now you and Speedy, man. You know what I'm saying, two elite point guards who both in their own, respectively went both of y'all went pro. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
How did
Absolutely.
that what was that like, man? Going up against him, I think you was a year older than him, correct?
Yeah, no, Speedy was a grade header than me.
Or he's a year older than
Yeah,
you. All
yeah,
right.
he was a grade header than me. Yes,
So
but like
were you
no,
trying to like
Speedy,
take a spot? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
what
no,
was that
no,
like?
no. It was all love because when Speedy was on JV when I was a freshman. You know
Mm,
what I mean? And like me and Speedy used to talk when I was on freshman and he was on JV. Like we used to talk just from playing against each other in CYO. You know what I mean? That's how I really got to know people playing against at an early age. So playing against talking to Speedy freshman year, and when he was on JV, we used to always talk like, man, I can't wait till we get the varsity, man. We gonna take over. You know what I mean? Like we both gonna start. Ain't nobody else going. We gonna start in the backcourt together.
mm,
And that's how it turned out. You know what I mean? At first, like Coach Oliva ain't start Speedy. He started me at the point, and he started the guy named Chris Kraft at the two. He was a senior.
right,
You know
right.
what I mean? He started a guy named Chris Kraft at the two, but Chris Kraft got hurt.
Mm.
He I think he broke his ankle. It was something with his ankle to where he couldn't play. And that's when Speedy came in the start lineup and there was no giving it back after that.
Everything worked itself out.
Absolutely. Yep. We won the city championship.
Mm. So, so at that time, what did recruiting look like for you, man? Who was on your list of colleges early on?
Man, I was growing up, my ideal school was the Tar Heels. I always wanted to be a Tar Heel from being a fan of Derek Phelps. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like
Salute to Derek
go-
Phelps.
yeah, well, just going to CK games, as a kid and watching Derek Phelps and Khalid Reed. Arizona was definitely on my list as well. You know, North Carolina, Arizona, Michigan. Of course, St. John's was actually my fifth option in Maryland.
Now, do you remember your very first college letter and who it was from?
Nebraska. You can never forget that.
You could never forget
Nebraska.
that. I asked that.
uh-huh.
You
That's
could
how I
never.
know. I'll tell you, it was Nebraska. I think coach. I think Danny Nee, if I'm saying his name right, was the coach at that time.
Right.
I actually called the school. I remember calling the school. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was just excited to have a letter from that school. I
Oh,
actually
that's
called the
tough.
number on there. I don't know what I asked, but
Like, yo,
I
y'all
just
want
called
y'all want me,
it. Yeah, I don't know what I asked. It could have been something that stupid, but I don't know. I
right? Right,
forgot. I'm gonna plead the fifth to
right, right.
that.
Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, the grade, the test scores or whatever the case may be, it didn't fall in your favor, and you had to go the prep route. Was
Yes,
that something that
indeed.
was like devastating for you at that time, or did you take it with a grain of salt and say, "Yo, all right, I'm gonna use this year to get better, to improve my scores, and you know what I'm saying we
Well,
still on course."
a great question, man. To be honest, Christ the King never taught and never offered the SAT to us. You know what I mean? I had no idea about the SAT in Christ the King. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I never took it there. I never had no practice with the test there. So I had Mr. Lodge broke it down to me. He's either you go to prep school or you go to junior college. Which route you want to go? He's like now. Mr. Lodge sat me in the office and he broke it down. If you go to junior college, you're gonna have 2 years of eligibility at a major Division One. If you go to prep school, you get your 4 years. Which one would you go? Now, Tom Kashowski was like, if you go to prep school, you got a chance of playing a McDonald's game.
Mm.
I said, shit, that's hands down. I'm going to prep school. I'm going to MCI. But MCI wasn't my choice. Oak Hill. I thought I was going to go to Oak Hill.
Tough. One of the best programs in America, really.
Right. Yep. I
Um,
definitely thought I was going to go to Oak Hill.
now that knapsack, man, wasn't no joke at that time. You know what I'm saying? I was actually out there. I ain't have a name like Erick Barkley or nothing like that. But I was out there, man. You know what I'm saying? I went to a prep school, Salisbury, out
Hmm.
there while you was at MCI. I I think
Yes,
we was in
indeed. Yes, indeed.
different
Different
divisions.
divisions. Yes,
Right,
we
right.
were. I know the school. I'm
Yeah,
familiar with
so
y'all.
I remember seeing y'all out there. Y'all played against Winchendon,
Yes, yes. We
a
was
bunch of
loaded.
schools, man.
We was loaded. We was loaded, MCI. Again, man, we was loaded. Like, I don't know, man. God bless me and surrounded me around talent. You know what I mean?
Right.
God had a good play in my life to surround me around talent. Because on that team, bro, we had about 15 players and 13 of us went Division 1, bro.
That's crazy.
Like 7 of us went to the Big East alone. You
Right,
know what I
right.
mean?
Y'all
And
had,
we
I
was
mean,
started. We
y'all,
all went and started.
y'all had you had guys in that knapsack at that time, like Shea Cotton, like we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Ricardo Greer
Oh
was
yeah.
out there in that knapsack. Um,
Yes.
I don't know if
Of
you remember
course.
Aju Deng. Um,
Aju Dang, yes, he was. That's who I was gonna mention. That Wichita, him and
yeah,
damn, what's the big man that went to Cincinnati? Light skinned dude, something
right.
little, big
Aju Deng went to then he go to
Connecticut. He
yeah,
went
he
to
went to
UConn.
UConn. He went to UConn.
Facts.
That's actually Luol Deng's brother. I don't know if you knew
Yes,
that.
yeah, yeah. I knew it. I know exactly
Yeah.
who he was because he was better than Luau
Yeah.
Dang.
Word. He was mad. He
You
was
know what
mad.
I mean? That's where Luau Dang got his skills from.
I
That's
remember.
where it started from. It started from him.
Word. Yep. You
I'm like,
bet.
who this 7 footer that can dribble and shoot threes? I'm like, who this? I'm like, they
Right.
gonna kill us in prep school.
I remember
But
looking
man,
at the scouting
we
report. I don't think we had a player over 6'6", 6'7", and we looking at the scouting report like, oh, they got 2 7-footers over there. Like, what's going
tell me about it. That's how we
on?
was, man. We our biggest man was like 6'9", 6'10", Keith Bean, and another dude, white guy named John Oliver went to West Virginia. Keith Bean went to Miami. Like I told you, 7 of us went to the Big East, bro. You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
But
I think that was my man
we all,
Frankie Bean's brother, the older brother, Keith Bean.
you know what I mean? I've been around some dogs there from the West. Keith Bean from the
Yeah,
West. He
yeah, he's from
from
West Coast.
Cali.
Yeah, he's from Cali.
Facts.
Yeah,
See,
he from
absolutely.
that I forgot the Inland Empire and all that. Shout out to
Yes,
them.
absolutely. They're my peoples. You know what I mean? Like the
But tell
world
me
is
about your
small, my brother.
experience. Yeah, tell me about your experience out there, at MCI, man.
Man, I when as soon as when my plane touched down and Coach Good, great. I love Coach Good, the best coach I ever had, Coach Max Good. You know what I mean? That dude is a superb coach. Soon as when I touched down at the airport, he picked me up. I said, man, 10 minutes into the ride, I said, make a U-turn. I said, go back to the airport. I'm calling Mr. Launch. I'm going home, bro. I said, I can't do not this place. Hell no. This looked like some shit where Steven Spielberg
Right,
write
right,
horror movies, and he's from out there. You know what I mean? So I could like his mindset. I can imagine his mindset being like that, being from that neck of the woods. You know what I mean? Like shit crazy. It look crazy out there. Like when you a kid and you just come in, you know, you out traveling outside, you living away from your family for the first time. That was tough, bro. But
right.
like I said, Coach Good made it. You know, he made it feel he made it comfortable. And then as all the players start coming in, you know, it started to get more comfortable.
My thing about prep school, right? It was almost like a little college. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you on
facts,
the bus. You know what I'm saying? You got your
facts.
gear. You know what I'm
Your
saying?
dorms, you got to get yourself
Right,
up for
right,
school. You know what I mean?
right,
No more mommy or daddy to wake you up, make you breakfast, get you out the door. You
right,
got your own responsibilities now. You're doing your own laundry. You know what I
right,
mean? Like you growing up. You
right.
growing up fast. You know what I mean? That's experience of the college life. And like it's nothing more. I don't think like kids should. But like if a kid is not ready after high school to go to college, they should go to prep school for a year.
For sure,
You
for
know what I
sure.
mean? And just get that experience. You know
No,
what I mean?
definitely a great experience, man. Now, was not. Tell me about how how ultimately you ended up at St. John's. You had these other schools that you mentioned on the list.
Crazy,
I'm sure
crazy
they were
story.
contacting you. How did you end up
Yeah,
at St. John's?
crazy story. It's like I had like even though I said God was blessing me around talent, but I think he also controlled. where he wanted me to go to because, like I said, North Carolina was my dream school, and like I was on my visit there, and Dean Smith, that's the weekend Dean Smith retired. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I'm like, oh man, that's who I wanted to play for. Damn. I'm like, fuck. Arizona. This is when Coach Olson is when his wife got sick,
Mm.
and that's when he took a leave of absence. I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow. Then I'm on a visit at Michigan. Steve Fisher get fired. I'm like, yo, what's going on, man? I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Like
You
dominoes.
know, right. Then, Maryland came into play. You know what I mean? Like, me and Steve Francis was on our visit together. Like, that was, that would have been cool, but, they ain't hold up on their end of the deal. You know what I mean? We was on some blue chips back then. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
fuck it. So like they ain't hold up on their end of the deal. All right, St. John's, like I said, St. John's was my last option. St. John's came into play. You know what? I'm getting homesick at MCI. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what? I'm taking a visit back home. St. John's just had got introduced to the Jordan brand. You know
mm.
what I mean? So I'm like, I've been wearing this. I've been wearing this shit with Riverside. So you know what I mean? I already know this shit is official. This Jordan brand.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? I was Midnight Madness at St. John's. I committed me and Al Harrington. Al Harrington, we was on our visit together at St. John's. If Al Harrington don't go pro, he come to St. John's with me.
Wow. I ain't know that. You just
Absolutely.
put me on.
Absolutely. We was on our visit together. If he don't go pro, he come to St. John's with me. Him and Ernest Brown.
E. Brown. I remember him
And
from.
that's all I needed. That's all I needed. And we went to the Elite Eight then. With them two right there, we win the championship, bro.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. now,
Absolutely.
now you at St. John's. You know what I'm saying? It's a brand new environment, brand new world for you, man. Like what was it like, man? The very first time playing in Madison Square Garden, man. Describe those thoughts. Just getting ready for the game, your very first game, and coming out to the crowd, cheering. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's a
I
epic
want
place.
I want all Boo Harvey and Mark Jackson records. David King, I want all they records. That's the mindset I went in St. John's with. I want all they records.
So.
If I got all they records, I'm gonna win.
Mm, that's the mindset to have. But I'm saying, did you feel any nervousness coming out for the very first time? Were
Nah,
you
man. Not really. More towards the crowd and playing on the because one of my first games was at the Garden against Stanford, but like we opened up at St. John's in the preseason NIT against a team called like UNC Asheville. We
okay?
beat them by like 55 or some shit. So I you know what I mean, and I kind of I did real good. So my confidence was up. And then we played UMass, Charlton Clark and them. You know what
Mm,
I mean? At the time, Charlton Clark was there at the time in the second round in the preseason NIT. And you know what I mean? I held my own against UMass as well. And I'm like, you know what? They was top ranked in the country last year. And I
right.
held my own against them. I'm like, all right, my confidence started getting more. By the time I got the Arthur Lee, which was considered the number one point guard in the country at the time, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I'm ready. You know what
Dusted
I mean? Like,
cobwebs,
you know,
dusted them off early.
right.
Like,
I
right.
started picking him up 94 feet, see if this dude could take this pressure. Because y'all knew, I know West Coast guys don't like pressure. You know what I mean? Only one dude is really like that, which is my man Byron Davis. You know what I mean? He
Mm,
like that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
He like that.
he's
You know what
tough.
I mean? He like that. That didn't give me some buckets at Christ the King when we ran into them in Myrtle Beach in the tournament at Myrtle
Shout out to
Beach.
Baron
Shout
Davis.
out to absolutely tough dude.
Tough dude. One of the West Coast monsters. But
Absolutely, absolutely.
now, what was like the defining moment in your basketball career that you think that made you realize, yo, I got what it takes to be in the NBA, man. Like,
Hanging out with Steph Marbury, bro. Like being down in Atlanta with Steph, bro.
yeah,
After like playing against pros down there, and back then, they could hand check. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, these fucking strong motherfuckers controlling with it. They could move me. Steph was, I had the older dude, Travis Best used to be in there a lot. Like, it was tougher then, because like I said, the hand check was, it was legal back then. You know what I mean? So it was harder. And then like to perform, you know, being like in 12th grade at Christ the King and MCI prep school and going down there to, play, perform against pros at a high level, that got my confidence up. You know what I mean? When I came back in the summer, I'm like, man, I'm ready to destroy everybody.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, one thing that you did have, man, is that confidence. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta say that.
You
Um,
got to, man. You got to. Yeah, like I tell everybody in basketball, when you shoot the ball, you got a 50-50 chance of it going in or not, man. I don't care if you got a perfect shot or an ugly shot. You know what I mean? There's no perfect way of shooting a basketball.
Now, did you experience any kind of what was the biggest challenge that you kind of faced on your journey to the NBA? Like on, you know, what I'm saying through college or whatever. What was the biggest challenge that you faced, and how did you kind of like overcome that?
Learning how to deal with people. You know what I mean? Because coming from nothing, and then when you get a little bit of something now,
Right,
and people start telling you their story, you know what I mean? Like you got a heart. You know what I mean? You don't want to see people fucked up, but at the same time, you still want to take care of yours. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah, definitely. You know, you definitely meet a lot of different people. A lot of people start telling you a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and it could go either way for you. You could either like accept it and be a good person about it, or like you could dwell on how many people burned you, and you could start treating people like shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it go both ways, bro.
In your college career, do you like hold on to any memorable game or matchup that you had that kind of stands out as a turning point in your career?
Absolutely, man. Again, against Maryland, Steve Francis. Now, like I said, this is the school that I committed to go to, and then to get to play them uh in a elite. I mean, to go to the Elite Eight, that shit was priceless. And to perform against them, it's like y'all really bit the fucking bullet on this one by not giving me what I wanted. But oh well, it is what it is.
How'd that turn out for you, man? Were you satisfied in your, you know what I'm saying, in your
Shit,
in your con-
hell yeah! The look on them coaches' faces, I was satisfied enough, man. What I had like 27-9 or some shit like that, 24
Mhm.
9 against or some shit like that.
Against Steve
And that's
France?
and that's exactly, and that's on one of the biggest stages during the tournament. So,
Right,
and I
right,
was a freshman, so you know what I mean. So again, that kind of gave me confidence of I could play in the NBA as well. Because like I said, you see Steve Francis all year on highlights and how NBA scouts is saying he next up. So of course he's gonna have a target on his chest as well. Anybody that's going, you know what I mean? He
right.
was running against, and like I said, we coming from New York, so we play gritty, and we gonna get up in you and make you do countless of moves before you even get to the basket. You know what I mean? So Steve just wasn't ready.
Facts. Now, like who you think was your one of your biggest influences, man? Like, you know, or mentors or biggest influences in the basketball world, and how did they kind of impact your development as a player?
Um, Steph played the big part. Far as like going the legit way. Street ball wise, I used to always talk to Booger Smith. You
Mm.
know, um,
Shout out to
I
Boog.
had absolutely legend. You know what I mean? Another legend. You know what I mean? So I was getting good feed from both directions. You know what I mean? Best of both worlds. So
Now, now the NBA draft, man. You know what I'm saying? Year was 2000. Um, you know what I'm saying? Right at the turn of the the Y2K and all of that. Um,
indeed.
first round, 28th overall pick, man. Tell me about going your emotions leading up to the draft, and were teams kind of contacting you or agents
Oh man.
contacting you? Yeah, I'm sure you had
First,
the agent already set up, but
yeah. First and foremost, I had an agent that was a fucking jackass. And we all know when I say his name, we all gonna know who he is too. You know what I mean? Like he's a scandalous dude, bro. You know what I mean? No lie. And like he put in for a trade from me in Portland and San Antonio, and I ain't even know it. You know what I mean? Just so his client could come to Portland.
mm,
You know what I mean? So like I'm like, man, why would you screw me? I ain't.
right. That's
And he
this is
was,
the second time I heard something like that. They be trying to do
oh
like
yeah.
side deals.
Agents play a big part in the NBA, man, because they cool with the GMs. You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
like my agent was Andy Miller. You know what I mean?
right,
Andy Miller, exactly.
right.
At the
Then,
time, Andy Miller was in a case with Eric Fleischer, which was he was allegedly charged with stealing players from Eric Fleischer, if I'm saying his name right. But it was another agent Andy was working for, which he was allegedly accused stealing players, which was like Garnett, um, Al Harrington, Ty Lue, Chauncey Billups. These is all the guys that was under Andy. You know what I mean? So who is me when it's time to negotiate contracts? Who you think he gonna negotiate for first? You know what I mean? After
right,
that little list I just named, you know what I mean?
right.
Like let's just be serious, you know what I mean? So
Couple
you know
Hall
what
of
I mean?
Fame, man. Yeah,
He kind of did a move that I didn't agree with. You know what I mean? I wanted to stay in Portland, and he had me trade in that trade, which I didn't want, to San Antonio, which it would have been a great move if San Antonio would have kept me because they won a ring that year in '03. But at the time, I wanted to stay in Portland because I just got to know all these guys. I was used to, she and them, and
yeah,
Damon. I was up next. You know what I mean? I was next up to come.
right.
Greg Anthony was out of there. Damon was still playing, but he was coming of age. Um, like I said, I was next in line because you see, like when they took Sebastian, he came in and played.
Right.
And again, who he had, who his agent was Andy Miller. Like I
Mm,
said, they got me out of there for the newer breed to come in, which I'm not mad, but you got a kid that's coming out of high school, that's more of a selling of a ticket. It becomes a business after that. You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? So
So,
I get it. As you get older, you get it. You know what
so
I mean?
they got you out of there for Sebastian.
Absolutely.
Wow. So were you
Absolutely.
did
That's
you?
that's that's when that's when him and that's when the Brooklyn crew was getting it in with Zebo and them. You know what I mean? With the Indiana crew. That's when Portland got crazy.
Now, did you and Sebastian, did you guys know each other? I'm sure you guys.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because when I was in Portland, what's the name was there? What's the name was there? 530 Jamal Thomas, which is
Yeah, yeah.
relations to Sebastian. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right, right.
he used to bring Sebastian out there. You know what I mean? Like Sebastian used to try to come work out with us on court. Like not right now, little boy. Like chill out. You ain't ready. Not right now.
Did you hold any resentment, you know what I'm saying, towards Sebastian at
No,
that time?
hell no. Nah, I can't. That's my little man. Why
It's a
not?
business. It's a
Like
business.
absolutely. It ain't got nothing to do with you know what I mean with business. Like I wish you the best, brother, out here. You know what I mean? But
Right,
they brought him into a situation to where he young, with you know what I mean, full of eager, ready to go, and then you got other guys that's young there too, that's ready for their turn to step up. You know what I mean?
facts.
And that's where the clash came in.
Now I posted a picture of you and I think it was you Sheed and Scottie Pippen
Oh yeah, that was the
around
Christmas event.
around the Christmas, right, around the
Yeah,
Christmas
that was the
time.
Christmas event. Facts. They
Um,
had me out there making pancakes in the cold, bro.
hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Absolutely. I was, like I said, everything. I wasn't cold because like I said, this is all new to me, and I'm like a new kid, like a kid in like a kid in a candy store. You know what I mean? All this shit is, and I'm around Pippin, like I'm around she. All these niggas calling me by my name. I'm like, yo, I made it. You know what I mean?
Word, word.
I was
What,
in heaven, bro. That
what was
was
the
heaven.
first,
It's a great feeling.
what was the first thing you copped when you got that NBA bread?
The first thing I got
That
my
was
mom's that
the first
crib.
real thing.
Got my mom's that crib in Georgia.
Mm,
Indeed. And then I got me a chain. Then I got me a car.
tough.
I was good after that. Everything else, I don't know. I just started giving to friends. I thought I was a fuck. I thought I hit the lotto. You know what I mean? Yeah, being young and dumb, trying to take care of people. That's all.
You had a lot of cousins that came out of the woodwork, huh?
Cousins, friends, everybody. You know what I mean? I got a big heart. You know what I mean?
And you want to have a good
Blessings,
time. You want everybody to
absolutely. Blood blessings come and go, bro. It's how you is what you make of it, and the
nah, that's a
friendship you
fact.
develop.
That's a fact. Now, like you played, all right. So you went. Um, well, I won't ask you about the overseas just yet, right? But
Okay, okay.
I want to ask you
Different experience.
in terms of like any advice, man, that you would give to young athletes who are striving to follow in your footsteps and make it to the NBA. All right, what advice would you give a young player that's trying to do that?
Play as much as possible. You know what I mean? Like be a gym rat. You know what I mean? Always stay in the gym, stay in the books. You know, leave the girls alone for a while. Not saying all the time, just until you master your craft. Because
Right.
female will definitely have you sidetracked. You know what I mean? So stay true to your number one love, which should be basketball, until you make some money.
Right, right. And how did you stay kind of motivated? How did you keep yourself up in terms of, in terms of like
Bro,
your mental during the tough times or setbacks during your journey?
bro, like I said, during a kid, like New York City was different, bro. Like it was tournaments. It was different tournaments every day. It was different tournaments. Like on one given Saturday, we might have four games. You know what I mean? In four different tournaments on the same day, citywide. Then we might have to go cross town overhead.
ISA.
Yo, ISA exactly. Like we had so many tournaments going on, like to where it was no room to hang out. You know what I mean? It was no room to hang out in the streets with friends. It was just basketball. That's what I said. You play as much as possible. And like
Right.
right now, New York, this is what New York City is lacking. We don't have we don't have enough tournaments to keep these kids active.
Yo, that's a fact, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people wondering what's going on with New York City. You know,
It, it,
we got
it's
some,
the greed.
we got a lot of players though, man. Like, a lot of,
Absolutely. Man, New York is the mecca of basketball, man. A lot of states, like from my travels throughout the world, a
yeah,
lot of states follow our beat in New York, man. You
right.
know, and they don't want to say it, but they do. You know
Yeah,
what I
even
mean?
if you don't want to still admit it, they
Right,
still do.
right, right. So, but with that being said, man, like, as being one of the meccas of the game of basketball, we got to do better by the kids in New York, man. You know
That's
what I mean?
hundred
And
percent.
this and first step, we got to get all these non like these AAU teams. These some of them got to get broken down and gone, bro.
Yeah,
Because
I
when I
would say that.
played, it was only like four major ones, bro. Like when we went to other states knew who the top
You,
AAU programs was coming out
you
of New York
represented New
was.
York. You represented New York, and there was only
Right,
two
right.
teams that was
You
on
you you had the Gachos, you had us at Riverside, and you had the Panthers. You know what I mean?
that. Right, right, right.
And like when those three teams traveled out of state,
It was locked up.
we exactly you knew what it was. You know what I mean? Until one of them had to run into us. You know what I mean? And then it was lights out for them.
Now it wasn't like when you was in the league, it wasn't like you was, you know what I'm saying, you was out there like a bench warmer. You was actually out there
No, I was a
performing.
bench warmer, bro. I was a bench
No,
warmer,
not I'm
bro.
just saying.
Like I said, I keep it funky, bro. And that's due to the fact, like, I'm not ashamed to say it, because it wasn't my choice. If it was
Right.
my choice and it was other players, if you ask other players that play with me, they used to go to the coaches and like, yo, put Eric in, put Eric, like Pippen, all those guys, Kemp, all those guys used to vouch for me and told to the. But Dunleavy had a policy to where, Mike Dunleavy had a policy to where he didn't play rookies. You know
Mm,
what I mean? And then Cheeks came in my next year. I don't know. He was on some stupid shit, playing favoritism to like the people who he brought in. You know what
right,
I mean?
right. You kind of got caught up in that mix.
Right.
But I mean, the times that you were out there, you know what I'm saying, you were
Oh yeah, I did good, bro.
you
I ain't
were
gonna
facing
like.
live.
It
Like, you
was
know what
one.
I'm
It was. I don't mean to cut you off, but it was
saying?
one situation to we was playing San Antonio, right? And this is why I think San Antonio wanted me in the trade, because when we was down like 30 to San Antonio, where Duncan was giving Sheed the business, right? To
Yeah.
where Cheeks was like, all right, fuck it, we don't got no hope with the starters. We gonna put the bench in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? See how y'all do. Me, Zebo, Ruben Bunche. Who else was out there with us? Derek Anderson, and I want to say Ruben Patterson. Bro, we cut that lead to 10, bro. You
And
hear me? I
and
would
you
I was giving
you type locked up Tony Parker too.
exactly 94 feet. You know what I mean?
Locked.
I was in this dude guts, bro. I had about a quick 10 too, bro. Like
Now, yeah,
right then and there, I was like, yo, I belong in the league, bro. Like, come on, man. We cut the lead to 10 to where he put the starters back in.
Tony Parker
Eh, you know,
was frustrated. You was
I-
he
bro.
was tight.
I looked
Like,
at I looked at his game one time. Was like, yo, he got a problem going left fast, and I'm like, I'm just as fast with him, but I'm not gonna let him go right. I'm gonna just let him stay on his left the whole time. That boy used to try to go right with his left. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
right.
And that's all it was.
And what I'm saying, you might have called yourself a bench warmer, right? But you know what I'm saying, where we from, we kind of satisfied on the players just kind of getting to that level. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. No doubt. That's why I appreciate y'all.
You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? The guys like Kenny Satterfield, the guys like
Indeed.
Andre Barrett. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Those guys. Oh,
Kenny was in Denver.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Kenny was in Denver when I was in Portland. I used to go pick him up when we used to go play and bring him to my house and shit.
Right. And
And
they
we used to
weren't
chill
like
out.
top performers of the team or whatever the case may be, but just getting to that level and representing for the hometown, that was more than
Man,
anything. You know what I'm saying?
man, I used to walk around Portland with a chip on my shoulder, because in practice, bro, like, God bless Cliff Robinson. Like, he used to always be in, the legend Cliff Robinson, right? Like, he used to always be in Portland and shit working out with us. So, like, before the season, he used to always, be on he used to always pick me on his team. And
Right.
we used to run the score up on everybody. Man, he used to tell those coaches, y'all better play this young boy. He ready. You know what I mean? And that's coming from a veteran, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I
I,
mean,
I
yeah.
just had to wait my time. But like again, it ain't work out. The odds wasn't in my favor.
Hey man, I would say they were in your favor, and you know what I'm saying. And you did what you
Man, I,
did.
wa-
Yeah.
I wanted to get out there and play,
Sure,
man. Like,
you
oh
know.
man, I wanted to
That's
get like
good.
Damon got hurt for a little stint, right? And I became the starter for like a good little 7 game streak. Bro, we went like 6-1 on my streak. The only loss when we went to Sacramento, that boy Bibby lit me up, bro. And I couldn't get through them big boy screen.
Right.
That's it. You know what I mean? If I went under, he was firing. If I went over, he kept it moving to the back. Bibby played that like
You couldn't
you
get to
learn, man.
that Vladi
You
Divac Chris Webber screen.
Yeah, I couldn't get through them shits for nothing, bro. Word up. And that's
Nah,
what that shit was.
but like I said,
But
man,
we
like yeah, you have a different, you know what I'm saying? You have a different level of like, yo, you actually want to be out there playing and contributing and stuff like that.
I told you
Wow.
to begin this. I'm a competitor to the T. If we playing Monopoly, bro, I'm a competitor, bro. I'm gonna
Right,
treat this like we on the court. That's how much of a competitor I am.
right. And
If
tell me,
we sitting
tell me
around
about
playing 2K, I'm just a
yeah, yeah.
competitor like that.
Tell me
You know what
about
I mean? I'm gonna
what
talk
it was
trash.
like to see Jordan on the court, bro. Like
Oh
I know
man,
you
oh man,
didn't. Everybody talk
I,
about that glow when you see him. He's
I
like,
was just that shit. Pippen had to smack me in the back of my head to wake me out of the trance I was in. I'm like, damn, I'm on a guy with that made the movie fucking Space Jam. You know what I mean? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I had to get smacked the butt just to come back to reality. Like, yo, we all playing against him right now. You know what I mean? But it was amazing to be out there with Mike. But you know what I mean? Being around Kemp and them too, man. Like I said, all those guys were stars as a kid coming up to me as well. You know what
right.
I mean? So,
Kemp was my
you
guy.
know, absolutely. He was everybody guy coming up on that inside stuff coming up when we was kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
You
crazy.
know,
That
play with him. That
everybody
shit was
talking.
legendary.
Oh,
Yo, that team in Portland, man, we deserve a chip, bro. We had one of the first super teams, bro.
yeah,
You
y'all
know
had a
what I mean?
lot of young talent out there, man. That was killing.
If the coaches really knew what they was doing, man, and let the young players rock out in the beginning and bring the veterans in later, let them finish it off, we would have worked. Everybody would have had long careers there. You know what I mean? Come on,
Right,
Steve. We had got Steve Smith, bro. Like, come on, man.
Smitty.
Exactly. I remember we played against Detroit, and like Smitty was like, "Go to work." He was like, "Go to work on my town." Man, I probably had like 9 points in like 9 minutes on Detroit, bro.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like when I got there, I was about that business though. I ain't even gonna lie, man. Shout out to my man, Coach Gerg, too, man. Tim Gergovich. God bless him. He used to keep me right. That's who kept me ready off the court.
okay, okay. Definitely, you got to be ready off the court. You got to be ready to go
Absolutely.
once your number's called.
You
But
never know when that number gonna be called.
yeah.
You never know.
So your time in Portland, or in the league, right? It kind of dwindled down. You made a choice. You made a decision to go overseas after your
Yes,
stint with
sir.
Portland.
Yes, sir.
What was the biggest change that you kind of noticed immediately from playing in the NBA to now playing pro ball overseas?
Easier. But before I get into that, from Portland, I went to San Antonio in '03, the year they won it. I wish they never had trade because that's the year they I supposed to have a ring. But I would never root for San Antonio again in my life due to that. But moving on overseas, man. When I after playing NBA ball, to go against like European, no offense to them, you know what I mean, they're great players. It was just too easy over there.
And we talking about a different time too, where overseas wasn't you ain't had the Luka Doncics and you know what I'm saying, Giannis
Right.
and all them
Shit, shit.
dudes.
I remember like fresh off the plane, me and John Wallace, that played with the Knicks and went to Syracuse.
Right.
We both had Andy Miller, and he was out of the league around the time I got out of the league. And we both Andy sent us both to Greece. Straight off the plane, bro. Like I had about 25 and 10 right off the plane.
You ain't know the offense. You ain't know nothing.
Nothing.
Player,
The
just
coach
play,
just said, "I want to see what you could do." The owners like, "Yeah, y'all want to win? All right, give me the ball, move out the way. I got you."
like say
That shit
no
was
more.
so easy. And I like it was against what's the name too. The other American on the other team was what's the name, Will Solomon.
Okay, okay. Shout
He
out
was
to
tough
Will
too though.
Smith. Yeah, he was tough.
Facts.
Now, like all right, so after you've been to a couple different countries. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying, a couple different countries. What was
Yes, sir.
your favorite stop, man, and why?
Croatia.
Mm,
Croatia was my favorite stop because I'm playing for an owner who understood basketball and he understood the professionalism of basketball as well. Most of those overseas teams they don't treat you like the where I came from, the NBA. It wasn't that type of treatment. You know what I mean? So and then to go to Croatia, it was like top notch NBA treatment, and the owners there was Tony Kukoc and Dino Raja at the time, and
Shout out to
Split.
Tony Kukoc and Dino Raja. They was
Facts.
that nice.
Facts. Split, Croatia, and that's a. If you ever want to visit a country with your family, your girl, take her there, bro. You'll get some major cool points, bro. Trust me.
Croatia. Put it on my bucket
Facts.
list.
Facts. Go to Split.
Right, right. So now, I mean, yo, you had this wonderful, legendary career, man. When it, you know, what I'm saying, when it comes to New York City basketball players, you went pro. You made it to the McDonald's All American game, so on
Yes,
and so
sir.
forth, man. All, you know what I'm saying, the resume is intact.
Uh
Now,
huh.
there was a documentary, man, the Point Guards documentary, man. They left
Oh,
they
the
left you they left you out of it. Was
City of
that
God.
what was that about? You know what I'm saying? And
I
how did
don't
it
know.
how did it feel to not be acknowledged as one of the New York City point guards?
Again, man, it's the Andy Miller butterfly effect still affected me, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I
It's
mean?
crazy.
When you grow to learn, the person that did the documentary is cool with Andy Miller, then it makes sense. You
Mm,
know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like Durant has some say in that movie as well, I believe.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So like, you know what I mean, if you're gonna do something on New York players, man, have people from New York. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? But they
that
just
really
set me
know.
up they set me up to do my own documentary. You know what I mean? And by them leaving a key person out, it key other people out as well. 'Cause I wasn't the only person they left out. You know what I mean? Like Speedy, he got an NBA ring. You know what I mean? How you not have him in that? You know what I mean? Like Ed Coda. Like, come on, man. Like, how you got don't have Ed Coda in that?
Yeah,
Jamal
yeah.
Tinsley.
Speedy
Eh,
was in more of the Long Island, but Speedy
right.
definitely was, you know what I'm saying, in the mix. He was in the mix
A-
playing IS8 and all of that.
Absolutely. He put his work in for the city. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he definitely should have had mentions. You know what I mean? Not to take away from nobody else that made it, but you know what I mean? It was people that put in work before. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it was guys that put in work before me. I think deserved to make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I
Boo
think they
Harvey. You know what I mean?
right. Boo Harvey was one of them. Yeah, there was a
David
lot of people that got left off of that list. Um,
David King. All my St. John's point guards that came before me should have been on that. You know what I mean? Mo Brown. Like, come on, bro. How you not leave Fresh on
right,
that? He made a name at Grady for himself. You know what I mean? In high school. Like, come on, man. This is New York City we talking about. You just can't go into a Omar Cook without talking about a Mo Brown. You know
right.
what I mean?
Nah, that's a
And
fact.
Shout out to Omar. You know, Omar came under my claw. You know what I mean? He followed in my footsteps from me and Booger footsteps from, Fort Greene, the Boys Club, to Christ the King,
Right,
St. John's. You know what I mean? Omar followed the blueprint and he was very successful.
right,
You
right.
know
Shout
what I
out
mean?
to Cook.
Absolutely.
What do you believe sets New York City basketball apart from other regions? I know we spoke about it a little bit, but like what do you think separates us from everybody else, and how did it kind of shape your playing
Hon-
style?
Honestly, we not teaching the kids the right thing here in New York. Like like I said, like I call Christ the King out. Like you said, I have a love hate relationship with Christ the King because I love Joe. That's my guy. I play high school basketball on the same team with Arbs. You know what I mean? I love Joe, but at the same time, you don't know what it takes to make a kid better, man. You know what I mean? Like you can't prepare a kid for the next level, for get them ready for high school to college. You don't know because you never experienced it. You know what I mean? Not to say you can't do the job, but you got athletes that came through that program that's built for this. You know what I mean? Concentrate on being the principal, bro, and just sit back and let somebody else run the show at Christ the King. And that was my whole issue at Christ the King.
That's valid. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you have too many people that want to be hands
Yeah,
on
like
and then trying to
right,
mess it up.
and when you bring it up to their face, it's like you the bad guy. Like, nah, man, it's all about the kids, bro. Like, look at Omar. Look at Omar Calhoun wasn't ready at UConn, bro.
Right.
This is why Rick Pitino don't take kids from Christ the King, bro. Because what's the name wasn't ready. Ryan. You know what I mean? Just think about the kids that come out of Christ the King that's not ready for college basketball, bro. You get a rare one like Riley Atkins. You know what I mean? And what's the name? From Michigan State, point guard Tyson.
Yeah, yeah,
You get
yeah.
rare ones.
You too. Yeah,
Alvarado.
you
You
now.
know what I mean? But Alvarado wasn't Joe's favorite at the time. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
a kid there named
Alvarado
Fat
came.
Boy.
Alvarado
Right. It was a
snuck in
kid.
there.
It was a kid named Fat Boy there that was getting all the attention before Alvarado at CK. You know what I mean? Like I said, Joe don't he a good dude, but like I said, you don't know how to get these kids to that level, bro. You
Now,
know what I mean?
now I know you had some off the court stuff that happened. Do you think that you know what I'm saying that was a major you know what I'm saying like a
Yeah.
major thorn that kind of derailed some things for you, or do you feel like yo it was just
Well,
a
far as like when after basketball, when I retired, you talking about the incident
yeah after
of me
basketball
hitting
you
the
know,
guy?
yeah I
Yeah,
mean
that kind of
you know what I'm saying did
like
that derail you?
yeah, yeah, it did. It did. It derailed me a lot. You know what I mean? Because at the time, people was just getting into training kids. You know what I mean? And I was just starting my company out. You know what I mean? And then all that press hitting the dad at a kid's game wasn't good. You know what I mean? Like I had to do
A lot of patching
a
up, a lot of
lot,
the patchwork for that.
yeah, a lot. And
I mean, what
I'm ready to show face again. You know what I mean?
right, right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Everybody has you know, those moments, you know what I'm saying, where
Yeah, everybody go through trials and tribulations,
right,
man.
right.
Everybody,
That was just
nobody on earth going to deny it. I mean, going to escape that, bro.
right,
Everybody gonna go through it, no matter what it is. It comes on different levels. It's just how you pick yourself up and how you handle it,
right, right.
during the situation.
And I could tell by your demeanor, you know what I'm saying, you remorseful about the situation. You ain't, you know, you ain't a asshole about it or nothing like that.
No, not at all. Like I told you, I'm a competitor, bro. Like remember, I kept preaching that to you. Even if we play a Monopoly, bro, I am a
Right,
competitor to the heart and soul. And then, like to go into that incident, what happened up there, like, dude, you can't be calling people outside their names. You know what I mean? Like,
right, right.
especially at no kids game. You know what I mean? I don't want to go on camera and say what he really said because I don't. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's a billion. He's a billionaire, and I don't want to hurt his company. You know what
I
I
mean,
mean? So,
we leave that right where it's at. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Just wanted
right,
to touch
right.
on that
So,
real quick. But
but again, everything is a learning lesson. He learned his lesson. I learned my lesson. You know
facts.
what I mean?
Now
It
now
just so it happened. It took him a broken nose, but fuck it,
Chill, I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh at
fuck
that.
it, bro. It happens, man. It
Hey
could have been
man,
worse.
it could have been worse, man. It could have been worse. But you know what I'm saying? Like speaking on that, man, like what legacy do you hope to leave behind in the basketball world, man? Both on and off the court.
Man, just the world to know. Like I played the game the best I could, man. And if a kid could make it from my circumstances, projects, being the youngest of nine, anybody can do it, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Anybody.
that's
And
tough.
that's what I really want to leave behind. That's the message.
That's valid, man. You know what I'm saying? Like look at the circumstances you face, you know what I'm saying? And you made it.
Absolutely.
You was with Scottie Pippen, you
Man,
know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's
yo,
tough.
bro, coming up in Farragut projects, bro, as a kid, bro, I used to see dead bodies in front of my door, bro, at 12 years old, bro. Facts. Like, that shit,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't forget it.
That's NYCHA, right? That's NYCHA?
Facts.
Yeah, man.
Facts.
I'm a NYCHA baby too, man. You know what I'm saying? The 80s and 90s wasn't nothing for the faint hearted out there.
Word,
But,
man, that shit was rough.
boy, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I told you before, We here to celebrate you, champ, man. You definitely accomplished a lot, man, for not only yourself, for the city of New York, man, for the people that didn't make it.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying, you made it pro. You accomplished, you lived the dream for the people that were looking on, man. All your teammates, all your coaches, I'm sure were definitely proud of every accomplishment that you had, man. But what does the future hold for Erick Barkley, man, and how do you plan to stay involved in the basketball community moving forward?
Man, I'm getting on that St. John's roster soon, bro. You know what I mean? I'm getting on that coaching staff soon, man. I'm about to get my credits back up. I'm going back to school. I'm about to get on this staff, bro.
Yeah, man.
You know
You
what I
gotta
mean?
use some of them connections now. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely. It's that time, man. You know what I mean? It's that time, man.
it's
I,
that
I
time.
gotta get on that staff.
It's that
You know what I
time.
mean? I only got 12 credits to do. Yeah, I'm about to go get this done. I'm getting on this staff, bro.
That sound like a plan, bro. We gonna be
You,
checking in on
you,
you too.
I, absolutely, man. What's the name? Motivated me, man. Kamani, man.
Yo,
Shout out to Kamani,
shout
man.
out to Kamani, man. I just spoke to Kamani.
Champion.
Kamani is actually up next, man. Kamani, I ain't even.
Abs-
Kamani is up next
Yo,
next Thursday.
his story is so fucking like. I was a youngin, man, going out to left rack, bro, with a guy named Dane Irvin. You know what I mean? Great guy. Shout out to Dane. You know what I mean? Like we used to be youngins, and we used to always hear about Kamani out there. You know, Kenny Anderson was the man out
Yeah,
there
yeah,
for sure, but you know, Kamani, he was up.
right.
You know what I mean? So I used to always, I like Kamani. Kamani always was cool. He always treated me good as a kid. You
He
know what I mean?
asked
I
me.
respect it.
He asked me. I was on the phone with him not too long ago. He asked me, "Yo, who you got next?" I was like, "I got Bark." He was like, "Oh, yeah, that's my guy right there."
Look,
Barkley.
small world. That's crazy. That's small world, man. Like I
Word.
said, man, Kamani a great dude, man. Like I said, our relationship go back when I was a fucking kid hanging out in left rack in his hood. You know what I mean? So
Right, right.
it's all love, bro. You know what I mean? And like I said, he motivated. Like I said, if I could do it coming out of my circumstances, going to make it into the league, and Kamani could, his circumstances of being a national champion as a coach, like, come on, bro. It's not nothing we can't do on this earth, bro.
That's
You
a
know what
fact.
I mean?
That's a fact. But man, yo, we just hit that. We just passed that hour mark, man. I want to be respectful of your time. You know what I'm saying? But I
Indeed, brother.
definitely had a great time chopping it up with you, bro. And we
Love
not,
is
you know what
love,
I'm saying,
bro.
this platform is not just a grab the content and go type of platform, man. I like to, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be tapping in with you periodically, making sure that you know what I'm saying, that those goals that you said you wanted,
Oh,
about,
indeed, bro.
you know what
Indeed.
I'm saying? We gonna
Indeed.
be tapping in with you and checking up, like, yo, what's up? You enrolled? Go get them credits, man. What's up, man? It's
Oh
time.
yeah, trust. Oh yeah, I appreciate it, but trust me, yeah, I'll hit you before you hit me. Put it like that. That's how close I am to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's
Hey,
do
that's
it.
how close I am to it. But man, I just want to give a special shout out to the kids in New York, man. As the youth, man. Like I said, if y'all need some training, y'all need some free training, hit up my boy Todd Grant at Team First. You know what I mean?
Talk.
It's guys like myself and Jamal Tinsley is actually training kids, man. You know what I mean? So,
Yo,
like I
these
said, that
cats really
we
really
out
care
here
about the kids, man. They could see, you could see it that they really care about the kids, man. So
because
salute.
that's where it start, man. That's where it start, man.
Right. We
It
was
start
one
with
of
the
we,
kid.
we was one of them kids at one point.
Right. You teach the kid, you put the right stuff in them from the beginning. You know what I mean? And it's up to them to endure that information and run with it. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right. But yo, Bark, man, I had a pleasure. It was a pleasure talking to you, bro.
Always love, bro.
Much love. And I appreciate you for coming to tap in with me, man. And
Indeed, bro.
we're gonna talk to you soon, all right?
Yes, sir. All right, man. Have a good
All right.
night.
All right, you too, bro. Peace.
All right.
There you have it, y'all. There you have it, man. Barkley, St. John's, Riverside Church, Farragut Houses, what I'm saying, NBA, man, Portland Trailblazers, the list goes on. San Antonio Spurs, the list goes on, man. Overseas pro, his resume is impeccable, and what I'm saying, he's one of us, man. So salute to Erick Barkley for come chopping it up with us real quick. Next week, like I said, we got another banger. Kamani Young stopping by, the national champion, two-time national champion, stopping by, man, just to tell his story, his journey, and a little bit about what he's faced growing up, throughout his career. But make sure you subscribe to the channel, share the content, man. I really appreciate it. You know what it does to the algorithm and all of that good stuff. We got the Iverson Classic coming up very soon. This weekend, actually, we headed out to VA. We taking our show on the road. We're gonna grab some great content out there. And yeah, next week, man, we back at it, man, pumping out that content. So definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop some good articles, some content, whatever basketball content, man. I'm throwing it out there at y'all, man. So I hope y'all appreciate it. But it's your boy Cal Griffin, all things hoops. We signing out. One love, y'all. Peace.